Hey Killer Bees, it's Pahla B from PahlaBFitness.com, and on tap today it's The Buzz, where we are talking about fitness mindset matters, because Killer Bee, your fitness mindset totally matters. And today we are answering the question, are you pushing yourself hard enough? So you guys, as a personal trainer, I get asked this question sometimes at the end of a workout, or sometimes even in the middle of a workout, when somebody looks at me and is like, Paula, am I pushing myself hard enough? And I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, in this particular case, when I hear it with that tone, the question isn't really, are you pushing yourself hard enough? There's more to it. It's more of a, am I doing okay? Am I good enough? Is this all right? And I will tell you that unequivocally, absolutely, positively, yes. In those instances, you are absolutely pushing yourself hard enough. If you are at that point where you are feeling like you don't know, then you're doing great. That means that you are pushing, and then that means that you can continue on with what you are doing. Now, the other side of that question, though, is, can I do more? And I will tell you that the answer is unequivocally, absolutely, positively, yes. Yes, you can. And I know that that sounds like those are totally at odds, but let me tell you something about being able to do more. Doing more is science. Doing more is simple science. Physiologically speaking, you are capable of more. No matter, I don't even have to know you. I don't have to know what you're capable of doing right now. I don't need to know anything about your fitness. You are capable of doing more. Making physical adaptations is a relatively straightforward process. I mean, it's not linear, but it's straightforward. Wherever you are right now, if you want to be over here, you push a little further, you push a little further, you push a little further. You cut back, give your body time to make adaptations, and then you push a little further, you push a little further, you push a little further, you cut back, give your body time to make adaptations, you push a little further, you push a little further, and boom, you're wherever you wanted to be. It really is simple. However, it's not easy. And that's why we're talking about it today. Because the intersection of can I do more and am I pushing myself hard enough is a fitness mindset issue. And I know it doesn't sound like it. I'm telling you that it's a physical issue. But that process of pushing yourself a little harder, pushing yourself a little harder, that all comes from your mind, not just your body. Being capable of pushing yourself harder is hard. There's no other way to say that. Pushing yourself takes a mindset. And the mindset is hard to come by. I will tell you, when you first start pushing yourself a little harder, and there's a couple of different ways you can push yourself harder. It kind of depends on what your goals are. Your goal might just be to go longer, like longer duration of workouts. You've been working out for 15, 20 minutes, and you really kind of want to get up to like 45 minutes or an hour. Or maybe it's that, your workouts are plenty long, but you'd really like to go up in weight. Or maybe it's that you're like to go up in intensity or speed. So pushing yourself in any of those 3 different areas, either going longer, going heavier, or going faster, requires you to push. And when you do that for the first time, you're going to get a lot of pushback. Your mind is going to throw a lot of garbage at you, and you might be surprised by it. I know I was. When I first started kind of practicing intensity, I was really surprised at how difficult it was. And it seems like it's difficult physically. Like you might hear in your head, oh, my legs are killing me right now. Or, oh, this is too heavy. I can't lift that one more time. Or, oh my goodness, I cannot go on for 1 second longer. But I will tell you, again, that you can, and that what you're hearing in your head is the pushback from your mindset. So how do you fix your mindset to be able to push harder? Well, there's a couple of different steps that you can take, and that's why we're talking about it today, because I actually have some practical advice for how to get yourself capable of pushing harder. Number 1 is just being aware of it. I mean, now that we're talking about it, when you do that thing the first time that's a little bit more difficult, be aware of what you're hearing in your head. Be aware of the fact that it's going to come. I will tell you, I have never met anybody who practiced intensity and didn't have some kind of pushback, didn't have a bad day, a rough time, or just difficulty making themselves do it. So be prepared for the fact that you might hear some real garbage in your head. I know when I first started going a little bit longer distances, when I was running, and the things that I would hear in my head were surprising. Things that I didn't think about myself. You know, I would be running along and trying to go a little bit faster or a little bit farther, not both at the same time. But, you know, I would hear things like, oh, you know, you're just no good at this. Oh, you should just quit. You should just walk. You can't do this. And it was really surprising because up until that point, I had been perfectly fine. But trying to go more intensely, there was that pushback. So being aware of it and knowing that it's coming, you won't necessarily know what form it's going to come in. It might be that you really hear, oh, my legs are dying right now. And you're going to have to know what to say back to that voice in your head that says, my legs are dying. You're going to have to be able to shut it down. So step 2 is to stack the odds in your favor. You know, don't try to push yourself so hard or so far or so fast that it's overwhelming. When you first start to practice intensity, and you notice how many times I've said that, we are practicing intensity. You're not just going to be intense, you're practicing intensity. So just like you would practice anything, start small. You know, if you want to make your mile times faster, don't try running an entire mile, 3 minutes faster than you run right now. Take it just a tiny little step at a time. Run faster for like 10 seconds, maybe 15. And do that like maybe once or twice in your normal length run. You're not trying to go from A to Z in one day. It's going to take time to practice that intensity. So give yourself that break where you're only doing a little bit. If you want to go heavier, don't do an entire workout with heavier dumbbells. Do maybe one exercise or one set with just a little bit heavier so that it's something that you can handle. And then you probably won't even hear the same kind of pushback. If you're trying to go longer for duration, don't try and go, from a 20-minute workout to a 30-minute workout. That sounds really reasonable when I say it out loud, but let me tell you, the difference between a 20-minute workout and a 30-minute workout is intense. It really is. So if you've been doing 20-minute workouts, aim for like 22 minutes, maybe 23. That extra couple of minutes is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. So stack the odds in your favor and don't try and do too much. And then the third thing, you probably know I'm going to say this, give yourself time. Let it be a practice. When you're practicing intensity, it's not going to come to you all at once, especially if there is a lot of pushback. If you're hearing, oh, you're no good at this, this is terrible, this is awful, you can't do this, your legs are dying, I can't breathe. If you're hearing a lot of that pushback, it's going to take some time to work through it. You're not going to make physical adaptations super, super quickly. I mean, at best, even if your goals are modest, it's going to take somewhere between weeks and months, and possibly, if your goals are really lofty, years to get where you want to go physically. Let your mind take that long too. It's okay if it's hard. Let yourself work through that difficulty and keep coming back to it. That's step 4. After being patient, keep coming back to it. Just because it's difficult once doesn't mean it's going to be that difficult every single time. Intensity is something that you practice, and you will get better at it. Unequivocally, absolutely, positively. It is, well, it's not science, and it's definitely not simple science. But when you practice things, you get better at them. I really hope that this was helpful for you today. And I really, really want to hear what it is that you want to push for. What is it that you're thinking about doing more intensely? Are you thinking about going longer? Are you thinking about going heavier? Are you thinking about going harder? I love, love, love your comments. And thank you so much for joining the conversation and for watching. I'll see you next week.